als Diktat uns aufoktroyieren.
He helped hide Nazi wealth by moving out of Germany during the final years of World War II. Allen Dulles was born on April 7, 1893, 5 years after his elder brother, John Foster Dulles. He graduated from Princeton University before joining the American Diplomatic Service in 1916 after a stint teaching in India. He would be assigned to Vienna and then Bern, Switzerland, as the United States entered World War I in 1917. At the end of the war, he was assigned to the American delegation to the Paris Peace Conference alongside his brother John and under his uncle and Secretary of State to President Woodrow Wilson, Robert Lansing. He then served as the chief of the Near East Division of the State Department from 1922 to 1926 before earning a law degree from George Washington University Law School and joining the prestigious New York City law firm Sullivan and Cromwell, where his elder brother was partner. In 1927, Allen Dulles became the first new director appointed to the Council on Foreign Affairs since the highly influential organization's founding in 1921. As legal advisor to the Delegation of Arms Limitation at the League of Nations for the rest of that decade and into the 1930s, he would have the opportunity to meet Adolf Hitler, Benito Mussolini, and the Prime Ministers of Britain and France. After meeting Hitler in April 1933, he wrote to his brother that he didn't think that the leader of Nazi Germany was as dangerous as people were making him out to be at the time. However, after a business visit to Germany in 1935, he was appalled with the treatment of German Jews by the Nazis and successfully appealed to his law firm, Sullivan and Cromwell, to close their office in Berlin and cease its operations in Nazi Germany. He also helped some German Jews escape the country. In October 1941, with World War II raging, he was recruited to the American Intelligence Service, the Office of Strategic Services, and then assigned to Bern, Switzerland, to serve as the Swiss director of the OSS. In his position, he gathered intelligence on German military activities and established contact with German resistance figures, including anti-Nazi intelligence officers. Heinrich Himmler was the Reichsfuhrer of the SS, and by 1944, realizing that Nazi Germany was facing defeat, took it upon himself to save as much of German industrial wealth to transfer outside the country to enable the rise of the Fourth Reich and the new German Empire from the ashes of defeat. He had built his paramilitary organization, the SS, in addition to its military intelligence gathering functions, to immerse itself in the management of virtually every big business concern in Nazi Germany. The Allied invasion of Normandy and the looming loss of France kicked the grand plan into action with a meeting in Strasbourg in June 1944. The determination was made that the Nazi government would allocate large amounts of money to industrialists so that they could establish secure post-war foundations in other countries, and Himmler lifted the prohibition on the export of capital with orders to all industrialists to export as much capital as possible, using a network of hand-picked SS officers. Latin America was the preferred destination of this capital flight, with the economies of Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, and Chile benefiting from the successful transfer of wealth out of Germany using international networks of powerful bankers. One of these bankers was Kurt Baron von Schroeder of Schroeder Financial House, operating from New York, London, and Hamburg. Allen Dulles was a business associate of Schroeder and also sat on the board of Schroeder Financial House. Using the German brokerage firm Albert and Westrich and Allen Dulles' law firm Sullivan and Cromwell, they created a network of companies to sell off Nazi financial assets and launder capital. Due to Allen Dulles' position as OSS chief in Switzerland, running US intelligence operations in Europe, the Allies couldn't interfere with Himmler's German wealth movement. Dulles also worked with the Swedish business tycoon brothers Marcus and Jacob Wallenberg to hide SS financial assets using Enskilda Bank in Stockholm. When the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover eventually pushed the US Justice Department to prosecute the Wallenberg brothers, the State Department stepped in to stop the prosecution. Also, the ties of British royalty to German wealth effectively forced both the governments of President Harry Truman and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill to close off investigations into the dealings of non-German collaborators. The movement of German wealth during the final days of the Third Reich wouldn't be the only association that Allen Dulles would have with institutions and programs from Nazi Germany. Following the end of World War II and the dissolution of the OSS in October 1945, he will be recruited into the post-war successor of the OSS, the CIA, after a stint as an advisor to President Truman, eventually rising to become the first civilian director of the CIA, appointed by the newly elected President Dwight Eisenhower in January 1953. 1953 would be the year that Project MK Ultra, the secret CIA mind control program pioneered by Nazi scientists based in World War II concentration camps, began.
No, everything's fine. My name is Jason Bourne. Jason.